Spin a lot of plates up here. So let's get started. So if you all will look up at the monitors, you will see that this is the Spalding County State Court. My name is Josh Thacker, I'm your judge, and this is the ticket arraignment calendar. I want to start out by saying here in the Spalding County State Court, we believe that each of you as you interact with this court deserves the respect and the dignity that you would wish for someone you care about. We will extend that to each and every one of you as we interact with you all here today. Hey, please don't talk during court. Our goal is to move your case forward promptly to hopefully return you to your lives quickly. I assume we're on the same page that we all want that. And I cannot do that though if you're having sidebar conversations, and frankly I won't have much patience for it. I do not have anyone virtual this afternoon. All right, so cell phones. Earlier I asked you all to turn on your phones to follow those directions. At this time, everybody pull out your phones and turn them off. Even if you haven't finished, you'll get a chance to turn them back on here in just a little bit. But if phones start pinging and dinging and chirping, then I get distracted and I want to know whose it is, and bad stuff happens after that. So, all right, tons of movement. Thank you all very much. All right, this is the correct courtroom for you if you were issued a citation here in Spalding County by a Spalding County deputy, and that citation directed you to appear today. If what I'm saying does not sound right, speak to the bailiff, and I'm going to go ahead and make the announcement, which is that if you received your citation from a City of Griffin police officer, you're in the wrong courtroom. That is municipal court in the building next door. If you're unsure, just look at your ticket. If you're still unsure, show it to the bailiffs. They are fantastic at what they do, and they can help you. Today is what's called your arraignment. It's where I go over your rights with you and tell you what your options are, and then you or your attorney, actually I don't have any attorneys here, you're going to tell me what you want to do with your case. You may have a trial. There are two types of trials. There's a jury trial where 6 jurors issue a verdict on your case, and then there's a bench trial, and that's where I issue the verdict with no jury present. You can also ask me about getting an attorney, and I'll give you instructions on applying with the Public Defender's Office today, and we can go from there. Everybody's charges in this courtroom are misdemeanors. The average misdemeanor carries a maximum punishment of 12 months to serve in the Spalding County Jail and or a $1,000 fine. A few minor traffic charges like seatbelt have a lower maximum fine, and a few high and aggravated misdemeanors have up to a $5,000 maximum fine. Now, each of you here have the right to a speedy and public jury trial, where 6 citizens of Spalding County decide guilt or innocence on each of your charges. You can also choose a bench trial. Again, that's where I make the guilt or innocence decision with no jury present. You can waive your right to a trial and close your case with a plea if you so choose. I have no preference. You must knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently choose for yourself. You have the right to be presumed innocent. You have the right to force the state to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to cross-examine the state's witnesses, subpoena your own witnesses notice to court, testify or not testify, to not incriminate yourself, and if you remain silent, I will not allow that silence to be held against you. Now, each of you here have the right to an attorney. You may hire your own if you so choose. However, if you cannot afford an attorney, then you can apply today with the Public Defender's Office. Their office is a couple of blocks from here, and I'll send you in that direction. Now, this is your warning, and I'm always amazed at how many people test me on this, and the result is exactly what I'm telling you it's going to be, which is that if you do not take action ASAP to secure the Public Defender's Office, you will very likely hear me say at your next court date that you have waived the right to apply for their services. So, now, everybody here is without an attorney, so you need to understand that an attorney would help you understand our criminal justice system, explain what the charges are, what the defenses are to those charges, file motions on your behalf, engage in plea negotiations, subpoena witnesses and evidence for your defense, conduct a trial on your behalf and make objections, protect your record, appeal a conviction, and otherwise just work to protect you. Now, it is my responsibility to explain first offender and conditional discharge. These each allow you to enter a plea without being convicted. However, you only get one of each for your entire life. So, first offender is for everything except traffic-related charges, so of course no DUIs. Conditional discharge is for drug-related charges only. Now, this applies to almost everybody here. A nolo contendere plea, we call it a NOLO plea for short, is where you enter a guilty plea without admitting guilt, and it is available on almost all traffic charges, no DUIs. You get one no-load every 5 years, and that is measured from the incident date to the incident date, ticket date to ticket date. No-loads will usually prevent points. It will usually save your license. It will not help you much at all if you're under 21. Quick show of hands, who here is under 21 years of age? Okay, so y'all will need to tell me that at a later moment, and I'll let you know. Georgia law treats y'all differently than they treat over 21, and so we need to know that so we make certain to take that into consideration. All right, if you're here today and you are not a U.S. citizen, you need to know that any conviction will very likely have a negative impact on your immigration status. All right, weird old law called habeas corpus. We call it habeas for short, and here's how it works. If you're convicted of these charges, you may sue Spalding County civilly over in Superior Court to challenge your conviction. All traffic charges have a 6-month window to use your habeas rights. Everything else in this courtroom has a 12-month window before those rights expire. All right, you may conference today with the solicitor's office. Again, that's this group up here to your left. If that's what you want to do, you'll announce conference when your name is called, and you'll wait here in the courtroom until they call you. Now, the solicitor's office represents the state of Georgia. I will state again, they are not your attorney. If you reach an agreement with the solicitor's office, great. We can resolve your case today. If you do not reach an agreement with the solicitor's office, no problem. You've waived no rights. You just simply say, no, thank you. They'll hand you off to the bailiffs, and the bailiffs will have you sign your paperwork and move you to the next court date. Now, if you wish to close your case, let me just jump forward to here. All right, so for those of you with a payable ticket that you want to close your case without a trial, but you don't have the fine amount and you don't want to go on probation, there's a middle ground now that we've added called our 30 for 30 program. We did not steal that from ESPN, don't tell them. So the way this works is the 30 by 30 program says if you have a payable ticket, you don't want to go to trial, and you don't have the funds to pay it, then what you can do is have a conference with the solicitor's office, negotiate a plea, enter that plea, and then I'll delay the start of the sentence by 30 days to allow you to pay your fine in full. You will also pay $30 as a program fee to participate in the program, hence the 30 for 30, $30, 30 days. If you're successful, then your case will close with no probation conditions. If you're not successful, then 31 days out, your probation will start automatically. It'll still very likely be terminated upon completion. Okay, so if you're interested in that, ask for a conference. All right, if you receive probation, then you need to know that you'll be supervised by Spalding County Sentence Enforcement. There will be a one-time $25 intake fee per case. 100% of all fines for probation may be worked off with community service work at $10 per hour. Additionally, there's a $50 per month supervision fee each month until you complete your probation. The $50 supervision fee is mandatory, but it can be waived after a separate hearing before me. All right, all the trials go on the same 2-week trial calendar. So if you choose to move your case over to a trial calendar, this is what you need to know. Week 1 will be your calendar call, and you'll be assigned a specific date and time to come to court. Then we'll skip a week in the middle, and I'll do some other court, and everybody else will get ready for trials. And then you'll come back the Monday of week 2 at 9 a.m. sharp. You'll appear each and every day until your case is resolved. And we will use 2 or 3 courtrooms in week 2, and we will reach your case for trial. All right. So we're still a small enough community where everybody knows somebody who knows everybody. And this announcement works very well. So if you recognize the name of somebody who is missing that I'm going to issue a warrant on today, then you need to know that if you will call them ASAP, tell them to get down here ASAP, you will definitely save them a great deal of future trouble. All right, so in just a moment, Ms. Tony's going to call the calendar. When you hear your name called, stand up. If you are unable to stand, simply wave your hand really high and get my attention, but otherwise stand up. I don't have any attorneys here, so what you're going to do once you stood up is you're going to announce very loudly with these options that I'm going to leave up on the wall. So you will stand up, and then you will either say jury trial, nice and loud, or bench trial, or conference, or attorney. And then, as I told you all earlier, you under 21 folks, that's when you make that announcement, is when your name is called. All right, Sonia, any housekeeping? Anything?
Nothing.
What's yours?
Jasmine Alfaro. Conference.
Thank you.
Jorge Arenas.
Conference.
Conference.
Jada Ballard,
Conference.
Thank you.
Trey Barber,
We have a language barrier.
Oh, okay.
She's just translating.
That's okay.
Is it okay if I translate for him?
I'm just saying that, what do you know how we gotta tell?
We have an interpreter calendar and we will, so, okay.
I understand.
So, yeah, so let's move him to the interpreter calendar and that's at my cost, no cost to you.
But I wanna change my car because my job,
Well, he's trying not to change his court date because he doesn't want to miss work again.
Okay.
helped me in.
Conference then. But
And it's for
if the
trade
conference doesn't work, he's gotta go over to the interpreter. Who is this again? Serena's?
Page 7,
But,
excuse me.
This was one of the first names called.
What's your name?
Jesus,
Yeah, he is on, right?
but,
So we haven't even gotten to him yet? Oh, then we need to go to the interpreter.
Yeah.
If we haven't even gotten to him and we're already having to do this, he needs to go to the interpreter. I'm so sorry, but this is not gonna work. So bailiffs, he's all yours. I'm sorry he doesn't wanna move it, but I can't. This is the whole reason we have an interpreter calendar. So, okay. This is why I'm so confused. He answered, but he's not any of the names that have been called. This is Jesus Gopar Garcia. I'm so sorry, I just messed up your name, but he's on top of page 5. We haven't even gotten to him. So we need to move him to the calendar where he's supposed to be. So I'm sorry, I'm moving it, no cost to you, go wait out in the hallway.
Thank you.
Is this to go now?
no.
We have a Spanish-speaking attorney, a Spanish-speaking interpreter, and a Spanish-speaking probation officer. We'll take great care of you on the interpreter day. Even if I do Spanish, I'm not allowed to speak it from the bench, there's a rule. Okay, which I don't.
Trey Barber. Request failure to appear. Kamon Barkley. Request failure to appear. Cullen Barnes.
Conference.
Thank you.
James Boatfield.
Conference. Thank you.
Nicodemus Brown.
Conference, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the luckiest judge in Georgia. We're very good at doing several things at the same time. Mr. Shepherd, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. All right, when I call your name, you're gonna go through the double doors over here to my right, your left. Ms. Fletcher here and Betty Schwetter there will meet you. We'll go down towards my office and I'll call you back one at a time for your comments. All right, Jasmine Alfaro, George Uranus, Jada Ballard, Cullen Barnes, James Boatfield, and Nicodemus Brown. Thank you, Judge.
No problem. Okay.
Xavius Buffin.
Here. All right, Mr. Buffin, do you want to speak with the Public Defender's Office about representing you?
No, sir.
Are you waiving the right to apply with the Public Defender's Office?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to note that you've waived the right to apply with the Public Defender's Office and requested a jury trial. If you will step out in the hallway, please, have a seat on the bench out there. Do not leave until the bailiffs come speak with you.
Jesse Curtis. Request failure to appear. Troy Casey Jr.
Conference.
Thank you.
Cadacia Clark. Request failure to appear. Devontae Clemens. Request failure to appear. Alonzo Cole.
Conference.
Thank you.
Javion Coltrane.
Under 21. All right, I'm putting that for conference.
Reginald Collier Jr. Request failure to appear. Gladys Cruz.
Conference.
Thank you.
Daisha Daniel. Request failure to appear. Daisy Delgado. Request failure to appear. Epapras Dasapati. Request failure to appear.
So these names, I'm good with that, but there's three, those three, I'm not seeing any of those. Give me just one second. The last three names she called were not on this calendar. Yeah, they are. So, yeah, Susan just figured out, those were from this morning's calendar, and they did not get called this morning. So just review the last three, I'm just gonna mark them, and we're gonna be fine. So, I think it was Delgado.
We had Dasapati,
Yes, I got that one.
Daniel, and Delgado.
Daisha Daniel?
Yes.
All right, those were all failure to appears?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we are good to go then. Again, those are on the morning calendar, they just obviously got shuffled over into the afternoon.
Okay.
It happens. So,
Rakisha Daniel. Request failure to appear. George Davis.
come on, thank you.
Lily Davis. Request failure to appear. Markeisha Davis. Request failure to appear. Kylie Faith Donald. Anthony DeRoe. Request failure to appear. Jessica Driver. Request failure to appear. Pesce Ellis. Request failure to appear. Tracy Andrus. Request failure to appear. Thomas English. Request failure to appear. Moreno Flores. Request bench warrant.
Granted.
Al Gilbert. Request failure to appear. Glenda Goodman.
Conference.
Thank you.
Dion Hamilton.
Conference.
Thank you.
Stephen Harden.
Conference.
Thank you.
Lamikia Hinton. Request bench warrant.
Granted.
Tai Huang.
Hoang.
Just want to make sure. HOANG. Request failure to appear. Apollonia Jackson.
Reset. Erica says, Wang as a reset. That's why
Jackson.
it's reset. Okay.
Which one?
Wang,
Oh, okay.
because it's not on here either, so.
Put that over here. Okay.
Apollonia Jackson. Request failure to appear. Shaka James.
Conference.
Thank you.
Kayla Jester. Request failure to appear. Antavius Jones.
Conference.
Thank you.
Autumn Jones. Request failure to appear. Bryant Jones.
Conference, thank you.
Tyree Jones. Request failure to appear. Brianna. I'm just going to spell this because I don't have a clue how to pronounce it. KHAMPHOUNVONG. Brianna. Request failure to appear. Reginald Lewis. Request failure to appear. Jeffrey Lindsay. Request failure to appear. Jose Mar- Brandon Miller. Request failure to appear. Keith Morgan.
Conference. Thank you.
Tully Payne. Request failure to appear. Stephen Price. Request failure to appear. Jamila Rahman. Request failure to appear. Narkeisha Reeves. Request failure to appear. Anna Rigdon.
Noah.
All right, we'll put you up for conference and you can talk about that with the solicitor's office. So,
Michael Roberts.
thank you.
Alejandro Rubio Bueno. Request failure to appear. Cameron Sampler. Request failure to appear. Carlena Stargill. We saw her this morning.
Stargill, you said Stargill?
Maybe not. It's ringing a bell, but.
Yeah, I'm with you. It looks familiar to me too. Well,
What was the name?
Stargill.
Stargill. I think it just might be that Stargill's just the
Maybe.
name of several of our people that have come through.
Request failure to appear. Sabrina Sanders. Conference. Darren Sharp. Request failure to appear. Zachary Silvers.
Under 21.
All right, we're done for conference.
Trenton Smith. Request failure to appear.
Oh, I think that has a marijuana charge with it. I think
Oh,
it's a
I'm
window
sorry,
tint.
request bench warrant.
They usually have them in the reverse order, so
Yeah.
it threw me off too. All right, the warrants are great.
William Suter.
Souter.
Souter.
Conference, please. All right, thank you. Names are important, Miss Souter. Miss Tony calls it, because she's so much better at this than I am, I mangle Smythe. It's with an I, not a Y.
Tori Sutton. Request failure to appear. Mardavius Walker. Request failure to appear. Caleb Ware. Request failure to appear. Tamika Weems.
Conference.
Thank you.
Desernica White. Request failure to appear. Quintavious Whitner. Request failure to appear. Michelle Wright. Request failure to appear. Sorry. Jamira Weish.
All right, got it. Thank you.
Froylan Zamudio. Request failure to appear. Joseph Zawaki. Request failure to appear.
Do you mind if I call one more name for her real
I'm
quick?
done.
Okay. If I call your name, if you'll please step through these double doors and Miss Fletcher will meet you in the hallway. Troy Casey, Alonzo Cole, Javion Coltrane, Gladys Cruz, George Davis, and Kylie Faith Donald.
Okay, a couple of announcements to sweep everybody else up. If you were here and your name was not called, stand up for me. There's always a couple, it's okay. All right, nice and loud. What's your name?
Jared Watkins,
And what are you charged with?
I believe it's speeding.
Okay, let's see if we can find you. You said Watkins?
Yes, sir, Watkins, Kiss.
Oh, okay, that's gonna be even easier. Give me just a second.
It wasn't from this morning, it was.
That name does not sound familiar either way. Hey, Omar, do you have a copy of your ticket?
It's in my truck, you want me to go run and grab it?
No, let's wait until I hear it. You said Jeremiah Watkins.
Jared, Jarrett.
Jared. I cheat, I have a microphone.
My head's hard, no one gets it right.
William?
Yes, sir.
Found it.
Oh, it could be.
23 TK 5972. All right, he's in that pile that I gave the bailiffs. Mr. Watkins, I'm gonna have you talk to the bailiffs in just a minute, and they're gonna give you further instructions.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right, have a seat. What's your name, nice and loud?
I looked for this morning, he wasn't here, he must be one of the ones, too, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your first name? Benny. Are you the third?
Yes, sir.
I found you. Okay, you have a lot moving. You have a lot of moving parts here. I show 3 open cases, maybe even including a DUI. No, that DUI has a felony attached to it. You have a lot of moving parts. Miss Margaret.
Yes,
I just printed it that way. You can stop. Let's put that down there.
Judge, may I have French?
Yes. Moving parts. And so what we just did was walk through them. Some of them are felonies and upstairs. We're not worried about those. So I'm going to put you down for a conference with the solicitor's office so they can tell you exactly what you have outstanding. And they're going to check their records to see if they have anything that they haven't filed yet to make certain, because it's in all of our best interest to gather everything you have up, put it in one pot and move it forward together. So, all right, so I put you down for, and this is officially Benny turnip seed the third, because there's multiple bitty turnip seeds in our system. Because I've got junior, yeah, I've got junior and senior actually. Okay, so you're good. All right, anybody else whose name was not called? All right, so here's what's gonna happen next. So it's 2:08. What I'm gonna do is step off the bench. I'm gonna step off the bench until 2:45, but what's gonna happen is between here and there, I'm about to give you these instructions, because statistically speaking, one of you is going to volunteer to go to jail. So let me say that one more time, a little more slowly. On a statistical level, one of you is going to volunteer to go to jail. And how's that gonna happen? How that's gonna happen, because it seems to happen every day, is I'm about to take a break. My instructions are gonna be very simple. We are all human. We all have to go to the restroom, step to the restroom, and immediately return to your seats. Every single day, somebody wanders off. I don't know if it's a haircut, mowing the yard, oil change. I mean, my car's at the transmission. Maybe I'll wander off today. But every single day, somebody wanders off, and then I have to issue a warrant for you, and then I'm going to hold you without bond because you clearly can't be trusted to stay at court like I want you to. And then I'll go see you in a few weeks out of the jail.
Okay, I have a question.
So I'm going to let you ask the bailiffs that question because they're going to answer that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a break. Those of you with questions, you can talk to the bailiffs. Don't wander off. It's as simple as that. Step to the restroom, get back to your seats. It's 2:10 right now. I'll be back on the bench at 2:45. If there's anything to be done between now and then, y'all come and get me, and I'll come back on the bench early. And Miss Margaret's taking care of the lady with the question. All right, if you have any other questions, talk to the bailiffs. I am the luckiest judge in the state of Georgia. I have amazing team members in every direction, and my bailiffs are no exception to that. So, all right, with that said, we're in recess until 2:45. And again, Miss Margaret will help that lady with her question.
Yeah, I already did, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. As I call your name, I'm gonna ask you to step up to the podium, and then we'll work our way through and get your case closed. So let's start with Jasmine Alfaro. If you'll please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, take your hand down. State your full name for me, please.
Jasmine Alfaro.
Ms. Alfaro, you're here on 23 TK 4246. And according to my calendar, you were on time for court. Did you hear the rights that are read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes.
Any questions I can answer for you about those rights?
No.
All right, John, will you see if the mic's on? She's usually a little louder. Maybe somebody flipped it off.
They did?
Yep. Okay. All right, so, and the reason why we use the mics is obviously just to make a good record, and the record is here to protect you in case we ever need to figure out what did we say and do here today. So, all right, so Ms. Alfaro, moving forward, this is the self-represented defendant plea rights waiver that you have passed up. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1,
Yes.
page 2,
Yes.
and is that your signature?
Yes.
And to ask that question a little bit differently, do you recognize this document as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes.
Now, did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes.
And because you understood everything that is on it?
Yes.
Did you see on here where it says you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no, you're doing so without an attorney. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial on your case?
Yes.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Okay. Did you, here in Spalding County, operate your motor vehicle at a reduced speed of 59 miles an hour in a 45 mile an hour zone?
Yes.
I'm going to find with your admission of guilt that there's enough for me to take the plea. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation, and I will follow it exactly the way you have negotiated it. Are there any questions about anything that I can answer for you?
No.
You ready for me to sentence?
Yes.
Okay. Jasmine Alfaro, I'm 23 TK 4246 from September 7th of 2023. Count 1, speeding, 59 and a 45. I'm going to find you guilty. It's 12 months probation. 195 is your fine. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days to let you participate in our 30 by 30 program. So if you pay your fine in full plus $30 in the next 30 days, your case will close with no probation conditions. 31 days from now, if your case is still open, your probation will begin automatically, at which time you may, if you wish, work off your fine with community service work, but you will be required to then show a valid license to sentence enforcement, to have no illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products, and be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, and your case will still close the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court. You have 30 days from today, if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Are there any questions I can answer for you about anything before we part ways?
No.
All right. Mr. Taylor's going to walk you out those double doors back there, and then you're going to meet with the sentence enforcement team. Thank you. Jada Fowler. All right. If you will please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right. Take your hand down. State your full name for me.
Jada Ballard.
Okay. Jada Ballard you're on 24 TK 0225. And according to my calendar, you were on time for court. Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom? And did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard, you have passed that to me. This is sometimes she ended up with the attorney. So, I'm going to have you grab a seat right there. We mistakenly gave you the wrong form. We're going to have you fill out the correct form. It's almost the same, but it's different enough where I have to have it correct. So, You just grab that seat real quick. I'm gonna do another plea while you're doing that, and then you come right back to it. Nicodemus Brown? You are Nicodemus Brown?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you'll please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Nicodemus DeAndre Brown.
And Mr. Brown, you're here on 24 TK 0227. And according to my calendar and my memory, you were on time for court. Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom? And did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
You passed up to me this self-represented definitive plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document as the written version of those rights?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I'm only asking that because there's a clerical error on here and I'm just going to correct it, initial it, and we'll keep going. All right, so Mr. Brown, did you see on here as well as hear me say that you have the right to have an attorney represent you
Yes, sir.
and you're here representing yourself?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right, John, that's for Dwayne. Dwayne's got the rest of that. All right, Mr. Brown, yeah, this will work. All right, so have you used a NOLO on anything in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
And are you asking me to accept a NOLO for driving that occurred here in Spalding County on January 10th of 2024 and resulted in this charge of count 1, failure to stop at a stop sign?
Yes, sir.
Are you also wanting to use a NOLO on count 2, the suspended registration charge from the same course of events?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, I don't get into this much because it gets really confusing really fast, but there are technically 5 different NOLOs. And so the good news for you is that your 2 charges are in 2 of those 5 categories. So I can, in fact, give you 2 NOLOs on the same plea. I'm just telling you that that was a very tight line you had to walk. And so the short answer is yes. So I'm going to find that your 2 requests for NOLOs on 2 different charges in 2 different classifications are proper, and I'm going to grant them. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently both waiving your rights and entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I will follow it. Do you have any questions for me about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, count 1. Stop sign violation on 24 TK 0227. The NOLO is granted. It's 12 months probation. 158 is your fine. Count 2, suspended registration. The NOLO is granted. It's 12 months probation. 602 is your fine. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days to give you a chance to pay off your fine in full and close your case. So it'd be your fine plus $30. We'll close your case within the next 30 days. If you're not successful, then what we can do is, what will happen is 31 days from now, your probation will just start automatically, at which point you may, if you wish, work off your fine with community service work, but you will be required to show a valid license to Sentenced Enforcement, to have no illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products, and be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, and it'll still terminate the moment you satisfy your obligations to the court. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision, and 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Any questions before we part ways?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Ms. Middleton, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Can I please see the following people through those double doors? Jesse Curtis, Brianna Compovong, and Trenton Smith. And that should be it.
Okay, is there anyone else here waiting for a conference who has not had their conference yet? Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Like I said, Marquise Joe's the state of Georgia right here.
All right, if I call your name, you can
Okay, let's come back on record with Jada Ballard. Again, we had mistakenly given you the attorney-defendant playwrights waiver. You've now had a chance to go through, I'm now holding up the self-represented defendant playwrights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And do you recognize this document as the written version of the rights that are read out earlier?
Yes.
And as the rights that apply to you in your situation here today?
Yes.
And are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes.
Page 2?
Yes.
And is that your signature?
Yes.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes.
And because you understood everything that is on it?
Yes.
Did you see on here, as well as hear me say, that you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes.
And you're here representing yourself?
Yes.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
And do you understand that you have the right to a trial? And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
All right. So, so your case is a little bit different, and I want to just talk this through with you. So, your case is a case that is fine only. So, what we're going to do is, I'm just going to ask you, did you here in Spalding County on January 11th of 2024 operate your motor vehicle while in possession of an open container of an alcoholic beverage? Did you do that?
Yes.
All right, so what we're going to do is, your charge does not allow for probation. And so what we're doing is we're moving you into the 30 for 30 program. And frankly, what we'll keep doing is, when we get to the 30 days, if you have not successfully closed your case, then we're going to revisit it with me, and I'll have to figure out something else. So I just want you to just know that we'll have to keep coming back until we figure out a solution to close it. And obviously, if you pay it, then we're done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And so, but I just wanted to say that yours is a little bit different because there's only a couple of charges in the book that don't have some sort of probation option, and this is one of them. So this one, the move over law, so open container, move over law, and about 3 others off the top of my head, do not allow for probation. So, okay. All right, then I'm going to find, with your admission of guilt to the open container charge, that there's enough for me to take a plea. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation, and I will follow it. All right, so here's how this sentence is going to be, and it's going to look a little bit different. You ready? So as far as the open container goes, I'm finding you guilty. I'm moving you directly into the 30 by 30 program. So that means that you have 30 days to pay your fine in full plus $30 to close your case without having to come back and see me again. And if you're unsuccessful in those 30 days, you do not begin probation. You will just be rescheduled by the sentence enforcement team to come see me for me to figure out some other creative way to let you close this case. So go ahead and get this done, because otherwise it's going to be a long bit until you and I figure out a way to get this closed. I'm sure that's not going to be an issue, but it's my job to say awkward stuff out loud. So, do you have any questions for me at all?
No.
You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you want to use your habeas rights. And again, all you need to do to get your case closed is 3:30 and get that to sentence enforcement for the next 30 days. All right, thank you very much. If you'll walk out with Ms. Williams. And Ms. Williams, if you'll make sure to point out to them that this is one of those wonky fine-only cases.
Okay.
And, because they haven't seen too many of those, this is something Marty, or Director Matthews, and I, and Mr. Shepard and Ms. Tony worked out together.
Yes, sir.
All right, just Alonzo Cole. If you will please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Alonzo Deshaun Cole.
All right, Ms. Cole, you're here today on 24 TK 46. Here we go. All right, you were on time for court today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
You have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document that I'm holding up?
Yes, sir.
And do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it,
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Are there any questions I can answer for you about anything on this document?
No, sir.
Did you see on here, as well as hear me say, that you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes, sir.
And you're here representing yourself?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed? Is that what you want?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Alonzo Cole, it's a NOLA plea. You're 21 years of age or older,
Yes, sir.
and have you used a NOLA on anything in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
All right, and are you asking me to accept this NOLA for driving that occurred here in Spalding County on December 22nd, 2023, and results in this charge of speeding, this reduced charge of speeding 58 and a 25?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna find that your request for a NOLA is proper, and I'm gonna grant it. I'm gonna find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights in entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it. I will tell you that is a very fast speed, and I trust you will be slowing down.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so, any questions about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
All right, because if you had gone just about 2 more miles an hour, your fine would have jumped up to 14.23. So just letting you know that that's where you're at. All right, so Mr. Cole, Cole, 24 TK 46, count 1 speeding, 58 to 25. NOLA, 12 months, $750. I'm gonna delay it by 30 days. If you pay your fine plus $30, your case will close. If you are unsuccessful in closing your case in 30 days, then your probation will start automatically, 31 days out. And at which point you may, if you wish, work your fine off with community service work, but you will be required to show your valid license to the sentence enforcement team, have no alcohol or illegal drugs, and be tested for those. No, Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. This will be consecutive to any current sentence, and it'll still, your case will still close. Even if you get this far, your case will still close the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court.
Yes, sir.
You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision, and you have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Do you have any questions for me at all?
No, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Davian Coltrane? All right, if you'll please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, take it down, say your full name for me.
Javion Zacchaeus Coltrane.
And Mr. Coltrane, you're here today on 24 TK 238. And according to my calendar, you are on time for court, and you're under 21, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
19.
That'll work. Give me just a quick second. Okay. Okay, that will work. I just wanted to make certain. It says here, okay, that's what's going on. So if you're 19?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you were 18, it says here that 4 points in any one scenario would result in a suspension of your license. But now that you're 19, you cannot get any 4-point offense, which neither of these are a 4-point offense, without losing your license. So Okay, I just wanted to be very careful and make sure that, because I assume it was clear to me that the solicitor's office was trying to help you not lose your license.
Yes,
And
sir.
I want to make certain that we did that. So it's always good to have a second set of eyes. Ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom and see the PowerPoint up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
I am holding up this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Did you see on here where it says you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes, sir.
And you are here representing yourself, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And is that what you want to do on your case?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial, this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Coltrane, did you, here in Spalding County, operate your motor vehicle on a reduced speed of 78 and a 55 back on January 4th, 2024 here in Spalding County?
Yes, sir.
And then did you also, as to count 2, during that same course of events, fail to properly update your address on your license?
Yes, sir.
Code section does not look familiar. Give me just a second. Okay. All right, and then change address is 40-5-33. That'll work. All right, so I'm going to find with your admission of guilt, there's enough for you to take your plea. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it. Any questions about anything before I sentence?
I talked to him about community service, if that was a thing I could do. I don't know if they put that on there.
Yeah, we love community service work, so yes, as far as working your fines off and all that, that will work.
And did she put something on there about the defensive driving course as well?
Yes, she checked the box that you need to do it, and then Ms. Tony notated at the bottom that part of this plea is because you've already completed it. So
Yes, sir.
great job. We're a huge fan of folks fixing their mess before they get here.
Yes, sir.
So great job on that. These are good questions. Anything else?
No, sir, that's all.
Okay, you ready for me to sentence?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Jaden Coltrane on 24 TK 0238, count 1, speeding, 78 and a 55. I'm gonna find you guilty. It's 12 months probation, 232 is your fine. Count 2, change of address, guilty, it's fine only, 158 is your fine. That's a total of 12 months of probation. You need to show your valid license to the sentence enforcement team. No illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products can be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. This is consecutive to any current sentence. And this will be terminated once 3 months have passed, no violations have occurred, and all conditions have been met, which includes completing a defensive driving school within 60 days or showing proof that you've already completed it, which you're telling me that you already have.
Yes, sir.
You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. Are you in school or anything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision, and you have 6 months from today if you want to use your habeas rights. All right, can I answer any questions for you before we part ways?
No, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Taylor's going to walk out. Let's double doors. George Davis. All right, Ms. Davis, if you'll please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
George Edward Davis.
All right, and Mr. Davis, you were here today on 24 TK 0420. And according to my calendar, you were on time for court today. Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes.
Mr. Davis, you have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver that I'm now holding up. Do you recognize this document as the written version of those rights read out earlier?
Yes.
Are those your initials next to each of the lines on
Yes, sir.
page 1, 2,
Yes.
and is that your signature?
Yes.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
Mr. Davis, you have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
And you have the right to a jury trial, and that by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mr. Davis, have you used a no-load on anything in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
Are you 21 years of age or older?
Older.
And are you asking me to allow you to use your no-load on this suspended license charge from January 10th, 2024 here in Spalding County?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna find that your request for a no-load is proper, and I'm gonna grant it. I'm
Yes,
gonna
sir.
find that you are knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights in entering this plea. I've reviewed the recommendation, and I will follow it. Any questions about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, George Davis on 24 TK 0420, count 1, suspended license. I'm going to grant your no-load. It's 12 months of probation, $750 is your fine. Count 2, seatbelt, guilty, no probation, is fine only $15. That's a total of 12 months. Show your valid license. Is your license reinstated? Do you anticipate getting your license back?
We'll try.
Okay, try to get your license back. No alcohol, no illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products should be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. And your case will close the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court. What's got a hold of your license?
DUIs.
Okay. All right, well, put your best efforts into that. You have 30 days from today if you want to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Davis, before you and I part ways?
No, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Yarborough's going to walk you out those double doors and have you meet with sentencing enforcement. Glenda Goodman. And Ms. Goodman, if you would like to have a seat there to your right, that's exactly why we built that space the way we did, because it's got a microphone there and you can sit and be comfortable. Well, as comfortable as you can be in a courtroom. So, all right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you will please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Glenn Goodman.
Ms. Gibbon, you are here today on 23 TK 5916. According to my calendar, you're on time for court today. Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Any questions I can answer for you about those rights?
No.
Ms. Goodman, you have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document that I'm holding up?
Yes, sir.
And do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1,
Yes, sir.
page 2?
Yes, sir.
And is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you have the right, as you see on here as well as hear me say, that you have the right to have an attorney represent you. And you're here representing yourself?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Goodman, have you used a no-load on anything in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
And are you asking me to accept this NOLA for driving that occurred here in Spalding County and resulted in this charge of operating a motor vehicle on a suspended registration? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna find that your request for a NOLA is proper and I'm gonna grant it. I'm gonna find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights to enter a plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it. Do you have any questions for me about anything before I sentence?
No.
You ready? Glenda Goodman on 23 TK 5916, count 1, suspended registration. I'm gonna grant you NOLA. It's 12 months probation, fine, $454 is your fine. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days and allow you to enter our 30 by 30 program. So if you pay your fine in full plus $30, your case will close with no probation conditions. After 30 days, if your case is still open, you may, if you wish, work off your fine with community service work, but you will be required to show a valid license to the sentence enforcement team to have no illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products and be tested for those. Be subject to random alcohol and drug screens. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, and a $25 intake fee. It'll still terminate the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court. In 30 days from today, if you wish to appeal this decision, you have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. All right, can I answer any questions for you about anything before you and I part ways?
No.
All right, Mr. Williams is gonna walk you out those double doors.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, man. I like this new thing I can grab it. I like it. It's just those little things. All right, Antavius Jones. All right, if you'll please raise your right hand for me. Solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. All right, take your hand down and say your full name for me.
Antavius Jones.
All right. Mr. Jones, you were here today on 24 TK 0179. Mr. Jones, am I correct that you were on time for court today?
Yes.
And did you hear the rights read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes.
Mr. Jones, I'm holding up this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document that I'm holding up?
Yes.
Do you recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes.
Page 2?
Yes.
And is that your signature?
Yes.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
Mr. Jones, did you see on here where it says you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes.
And you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do on your case?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Jones, are there any questions about anything that I can answer for you before we pivot to the next set of questions?
No.
Okay. Have you used a NOLO on any charges in the last 5 years?
No.
Are you asking me to accept a NOLO for driving that occurred here in Spalding County on December 31st of 2023 and resulted in this charge of operating a motor vehicle on a suspended registration?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to find with your that your request for a NOLO is proper, and I'm going to grant it. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation, and I'll follow it exactly as you've negotiated. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
You ready?
Yes.
All right. Antavius Jones, 24 TK 0179, count 1, suspended registration. I'm going to grant your NOLO. It's 12 months probation, $227.50 is your fine. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days to allow you to participate in our 30 by 30 program. If you pay your fine in full plus $30 in the next 30 days, your case will close with no probation conditions. After that point, your probation begins automatically, at which point you may, if you wish, work off your fine with community service work. However, you will be required to show a valid license to the sentence enforcement team that have no illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products and be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, and your case will still close the moment you satisfy your obligations to court, even if you get that far. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you want to use your habeas rights. Can I answer any questions for you about anything before?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you
All right,
very much.
thank you.
Ms. Yarbrough's gonna walk you out to meet with the team. Okay, James, James. All right, if you'll please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Chaka Malik James II.
All right, and Mr. James, you were here today on 24 TK 80, and according to my calendar, you were on time for court today. Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. James, you are here on 24 TK 80, and you passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. We missed one. Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm just gonna initial that line, we're gonna keep going. All right, do you recognize this document as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1,
Yes, sir.
page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it,
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. James, do you understand that you have the right to have an attorney represent you on your case?
Yes, sir.
And you're here representing yourself, is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed? Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Mr. James, have you used a NOLO on anything in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
Are you 21 years of age or older?
Older.
And I am too. We're in this together.
I know, right?
Yes, so I feel it. All right, and then do you want to use your NOLO on this suspended license charge from December 28th, 2023 here in Spalding County?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mr. James, I'm gonna find that your request for a NOLO is proper and I'm gonna grant it.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights to entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it exactly the way you've negotiated it.
Yes, sir.
All right, so count 2 is the suspended license charge. Count 1 is dismissed. So as far as count 2 on 24 TK 80, I'm gonna grant the NOLO. It's 12 months probation, $590 is your fine. You may work off your fine with community service work if you wish. Sherry Val, have you got your license reinstated?
See, what the issue is now, I have a time suspension until July.
Of this year?
Yes, sir. So that's why, because what I was gonna do is I would have the funds to pay it if the little 30 by 30 situation.
Sure.
I would have the funds to pay it, but until the time, because I've already taken everything, I just gotta wait for the time limit to elapse for
Sure.
me to do the reinstatement fee.
All right, I tell you what, I'm gonna move a little bit in your direction. So what I've done is I've just circled the line that says e-report, because that way you won't have to go in. You'll have to go in twice, once right now and then once for your first date, and then they'll put you on the e-report after that.
Yes, sir.
And so it won't do away with it, they'll at least make it a little bit easier.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So,
because I still need you to get your license before I can cut it loose.
understandable, but like I was saying, I was still gonna try to, if the 30 thingy was impossible, I would still try and pay the fine, because the monetary thing wasn't an issue. It's just like I say, the Ellenville individuals put a time suspension on me, so it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm with you.
Yes, sir.
And the short answer is although the 30 by 30 is not available to you because I can't use it on the suspended license charge, the
Yes,
early
sir.
termination is there.
Okay.
And so you just have to check those boxes. So all right. Well, I think what I've made this is the solicitor's office gave you a great offer. I think it's very reasonable. And again, we just need to get you from here to July, get your license, and get your case closed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this works. All right, so what I've done is this is consecutive to any current sentence. I've moved you to e-report after orientation. Once 3 months have passed, no violations have occurred, and all conditions have been met, including getting your license reinstated, then this case will terminate.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, between here and there, that'll put you on the e-report. That'll make your life a little bit easier.
Thank you so much.
And every little bit helps, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any questions for part ways?
No, sir.
All right, 30 days to appeal, 6 months on those habeas rights if you want to use them.
All right.
All right, excuse me. Well, then we're almost there. So we're almost across the finish line, y'all. All right, Bryant Jones, come on up, please. Mr. Jones, I gotta stand up a little bit, so. After a while, you just gotta move. All right, Mr. Jones, if you'll please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, take your hand down, say your full name for me.
I'm Brian Jones.
Mr. Jones, you are here today on 23 TK 3794. And Mr. Jones, according to my calendar, you were on time for court. Did you get the rights I read out to the courtroom? And did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, I did.
And did you understand those rights?
Yep.
Mr. Jones, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna move forward to, here we go. Now I'm holding up this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes.
Page 2?
Yes.
Is that your signature?
Yes.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time you needed to review it?
Yes.
And because you understood everything that is on it?
Yes.
Did you see on here, as well as hear me say, that you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes.
And you're here representing yourself?
Yes.
Is that what you want to do on your case?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial on your case?
Yes.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no jury trial and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
All right, so are you 21 years of age or older?
Older.
And have you used a NOLO in the last 5 years on anything?
Nope.
And are you asking me to accept your NOLO for driving that occurred here in Spalding County on August 10th, 2023 and resulted in this charge of speeding 57 and a 35?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to note that your request for a NOLO is proper and I'm going to grant it. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering this plea. I've reviewed the recommendation and I will follow it exactly the way you've negotiated it. Are there any questions that I can answer for you about anything before I sentence?
Nope.
All right. Mr. Jones, on 23 TK 3794, count 1 speeding, 57 and a 35, I'm going to grant your NOLO. It's 12 months probation, 232 is your fine. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days, let you participate in our 30 by 30 program. If you pay $30 plus your fine within the next 30 days, your case will close with no probation conditions. If you are unsuccessful, then your case will start then your probation will begin automatically 31 days from now. At which point you will need to, you may, if you wish, work your fine off with community service work. But you will be required to show your valid license to the sentence enforcement team, have no illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products, and be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, and your case will still close the moment you're satisfied your obligations to the court. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Any questions that I can answer for you about anything?
Do you make that payment online or you have to come here?
No, you'll be allowed to make online, but they'll tell you how to do that because it's not with the clerk moving forward. So yes, you can. So that was one of the first things we did when we set that up.
Awesome.
All right, well, thank you very much. If you'll step out those double doors. White. I figured there could be something, but I wasn't gonna push it. Yeah, you did that. Okay, okay, this is another one of these. All right, so, raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Jamira Lakeisha White.
All right, Ms. White, you're here on 23 TK 5484. You were on time for court today, and did you hear all the rights I read out to the courtroom and see the PowerPoint on the wall?
Yes.
Did you understand those rights? Ms. White, you have also passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And do you recognize this document as the written version of those rights I read out earlier?
Yes.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes.
Page 2?
Yes.
And is this your signature?
Yes.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to have a trial on your case?
Yes.
And that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed?
Yes.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
All right, you're charged with one count of hands-free violation. And so what's going to happen is this is not the type of charge that has a probation option on it. And so the way we're going to structure this is we are simply going to place you into the 30 by 30 program. And at the end of those 30 days, if you haven't satisfied your obligation, then sentence enforcement will revisit and they'll decide what to do with it, and they'll make a recommendation to me.
Yeah, because I was going to ask about it. I was going to like, what if I come in here tomorrow? Do I still got to pay the extra $30?
So, well, that's because we're putting you on the program to give you those 30 days to pay it. So that's the whole point of it.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, I got to put you on a jury trial calendar. So this is a whole lot easier of a process than putting you on the jury trial.
But when I do pay, I just go to the sentence enforcement building, or do I come here?
No, sentence enforcement.
And whenever you told me about it,
Yes, because they'll walk you through it. So they're very good at what they do.
I was listening. You told me you could pay it online, so that's what I'm doing. Like,
yeah, and they have an online option as well, and they'll walk you through how to use it. So, okay, well then here we go. Did you here in Spalding County unlawfully hold a cellular device and operate it while also simultaneously operating a motor vehicle here in Spalding County on November 9th, 2023?
yes, but technically it's a Bluetooth.
Okay. So, as far as what was it?
My phone was connected to the Bluetooth, like, but he only seen it in my hand. But I wasn't talking on it. I was talking through the Bluetooth.
But you had your phone in your hand?
You know what? Never mind.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? Never mind. I was like, never mind. Just never mind.
Well, I'm going to tell you why I know that.
Look, you know what? Just never mind.
Sorry, it's almost like I'm a lawyer now.
No, it was him repeating the question back. I was like, you know what? Never mind.
Sounds different when judges say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've done that myself. But listen, in all sincerity, the law simply says that you may not hold a phone while operating a vehicle. It doesn't say whether you're doing anything with it. You're just not even allowed to hold it. The law is like way over here, and it gives you absolutely no wiggle room. And to be fair, I mean, I know I'm the judge, but I had a hard time transitioning to that because I've been working with a car and phones since I was in law school, and it took me a while to get used to that. But you got to get used to it. So, okay, so here we go. So I'm going to find that that's a yes, and I'm going to find you guilty. I'm moving you over into our 30 by 30 program. So within the next, count 2 is dismissed. So within the next 30 days, you're going to pay $50 plus $30, putting you into our pretrial, our 30 by 30 program. If you're unsuccessful, then the sentence enforcement team will work with you and figure out whether you need to come back and see me or what the options are to resolve your case.
Gotcha.
Again, they are very good at what they do. They will communicate with you fully, and I'm very confident that that they will figure out a pathway for you here through this.
All right.
So, and again, you're not the only one who had a little bit of trouble, because I have an old truck and it doesn't have a very good radio, and it really struggles with
It made me so mad when he pulled me over, y'all. I just gotta tell the story. No, listen, for real. It was, I guess the person behind me he was on his phone too. So when we was turning, he had his lights, so I was pulling over. I'm thinking he pulled me over. So I'm like, but I see somebody else pulled up. I'm like, you pulled me? He's like, yeah, you pulled up too. But you was on your phone too. I'm like,
I got both of you?
yes, you got both of us. At the same time. Same time.
Yeah, that was frustrating. All right, Dion Hamilton. I have 3 left. I should have Hamilton, and then I should have Cam Fun Vong. Is that how you say your last name?
Well, Kim Ping Pong.
Cam Fun Vong. Very close. Okay, and then Turnsey. So, okay, 3 left. All right, please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Dion Hamilton.
Mr. Hamilton, you are here today on 23 SR 5918, and according to my calendar, you are on time for court. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, so, Mr. Hamilton, you have passed up to me this, I'm sorry, did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom and see the PowerPoint up on the wall?
Yes.
Did you understand?
Yes.
You have passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document as the written version of those rights?
Yes.
And are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1,
Yes.
page 2?
Yes.
Is that your signature?
Yes, it is.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all of the time that you needed to review it,
Yes.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton, you have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you're here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
You understand that you have the right to a jury trial, and by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
All right. Now, all right, so it's a guilty plea and a no-low plea. So did you, here in Spalding County, on December 15th of 2023, operate your motor vehicle at a reduced speed of 69 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone?
Yes.
And then are you asking me to accept a no-low on this suspended registration charge, which is count 2?
Yes.
All right, and have you used a no-low on anything in the last 5 years?
No.
All right, then I'm going to find that with your admission of guilt as to count 1, combined with your no-low request on count 2, that there's enough for me to take both of these pleas. I'm going to find that both of these charges you are free, knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights and entering these pleas. I've reviewed the recommendation, and I'll follow it exactly the way it's been negotiated. Can I answer any questions for you about anything before I sentence?
Suspended of registration just means there's no registration, right?
It means there was a registration and something triggered the Department of Motor Vehicles to say, nope, that's got to come back. So, for example, if your insurance lapsed, that'll automatically cause a suspension of your registration. That's what we see the most.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
We see
about
that all
2-3
the time.
years ago. Okay.
Yep, and then it lapses. So,
Okay.
and then obviously if you don't put it back, it just stays suspended.
Understood.
Okay, but that's a great question, and that is the answer to that question. Okay, well, here we go then. Any questions for a sentence?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Mr. Hamilton, on count 1, speeding 69 to 55, we find you guilty. It's 12 months probation, 158 is your fine. Count 2, operating motor vehicle with a suspended registration, no low, 12 months, 158 is your fine. That's total 12 months probation. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days and allow you to participate in our 30 by 30 program, which means that, oh, actually, I read that wrong. Your registration is not the suspended one, it's the expired one, and it's the same thing. You got it, you lost it, you got it back, and then when it expired, at the end of that, right where you're talking about, after that, you let it expire and didn't bring it back.
Okay. Yeah, I was on. It don't matter.
Yeah.
I was on the service truck, but it
And I'm
doesn't.
saying what you said is correct, but the actual thing we're talking about here is when you got it back and then you let it expire. I just wanted to clarify that I was wrong. So, and Miss Kathy took that down, that me saying I was wrong, and you can get it in a transcript if you want.
All right.
So, okay, so in other words, that's a lesser charge. It's a better charge for you. And that's
great.
what the charge that's on your table.
Okay.
So, okay. your case, if you pay your fine in full plus $30, your case will close in the next 30 days. If not, your probation will start automatically 31 days out, at which point you may, if you wish, work your fine off with community service work, but you will be required to show a valid license to sentence enforcement if you get this far. If you get this far. You will not be allowed to have any illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products. You'll have a Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. This is consecutive to any current sentence, and your case will still close the moment you satisfy your obligations to the court. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision, and you have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. All right, can I answer any other questions for you before we part ways?
No.
All right, Mr. Taylor's gonna walk you out those double doors there. Best of luck to you. Come on out. Cam Fu Vong. Cam Fu Vong?
Poom bong, like
Bong.
spoon.
Spoon.
Yeah.
Okay. Names are important, and this one is one I really wanted to get right. So
Yes.
thank you for being patient with me.
No, you're fine, thank you.
All right, ready?
I guess so, yes.
Please raise your right hand. Solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down. State your full name for me.
Brianna Dawn Campoon Vong.
All right, and you are here today. There you are, bottom of page 6. All right, you were late to court. Is that correct?
I was, my apologies.
That's okay. All right, so I'm going to jump forward to here. I'm holding up this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver because you missed me reading out the rights earlier.
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1,
Yes, sir.
page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
because you understood everything that is on it?
Yes, sir.
Did you see on here where it says you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Piper, we can do that. Thank you. All right. And do you understand that you have the right to have a jury trial in your case?
Yes, sir.
All right. And by entering this plea, you're doing so without an attorney, and there will be no jury trial in your case. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're charged with a reduced charge of speeding, 49. Oh, no, it's the same charge. Speeding, 49, and a 35. Did you do that here in Spalding County on December 28th, 2023?
I guess so, sir.
Okay.
Cause just as a short take, it was at where a 55 turns into a 35, and I saw the officer and I was reducing speeds at 44. He tried to tell me I was going 49, but when I looked, I was at 44, if we're being exact. So I don't know where the 49, but yes, sir.
Well, the good news is that once you hit 49, you're within that magic zone where none of it gets reported to the Department of Driver Services. So
What
everything,
about insurance?
so it's not gonna get reported to your driver's history. So if your
Okay.
insurance pulls your driver's history, they won't see it. Now, obviously, if they call the clerk, then the clerk will have it, but it will not get reported.
Yes, sir.
And just as a show of good faith, I moved you over to a best interest plea. It won't change how it goes in, but it'll still at least be.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that'll work. So, all right, 49 to 35. I'm gonna find you guilty. It's 12 months probation. 158 is your fine. I'm gonna delay the start of your probation by 30 days to allow you a chance to pay it plus $30 to close your case with no probation conditions. If you're unsuccessful at that, then 30 days from now, your probation will start. At which point you may, if you wish, work your fine off with community service work. You will be required, though, to show your license to the sentence enforcement team. No illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products. You'll be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, and your case will still close even if you get that far, the moment you've satisfied your obligation to the court. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision, and 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. All right, looks like you mistakenly signed 2 of your probation rights forms. Well, they may not. No. Okay. Do you have any questions before we part ways?
No, sir.
All right. If you will step with Mr. Taylor out those double doors, and good luck to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for seeing me late.
Oh, sure. Thank you. All right. Last case, turn to scene.
I guess so.
Yeah, I have to find another one. I couldn't find it.
It's,
And I thought you signed it, when I, it's thank you.
Mr. Turnipseed, you did a very good job negotiating out your cases, so, you came out with a really good outcome here, considering what you came in with. All right, here we go. Please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down and state your full name for me.
Benny Thompson III.
All right, now, what I'm gonna do first is put on the record that you came in here with one case, 21 TK 1233. But we very quickly realized that you actually had 3 cases. You also had 24 SR 0151, and then you also had 24 SR 0152. You also have either one, we definitely have one, might be 2 felony cases upstairs. We weren't sure about that, but they weren't ours, and we're not worried about them, but I just wanted to acknowledge that out loud, that this is not closing everything that you have. You will still definitely have something upstairs in Superior Court at some point. Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you hear the rights that are read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Any questions I can answer for you about those rights?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Turnipseed, you have passed up to me the self-represented defendant plea rights waiver, and this is of course in 24 SR 0152. Do you recognize this document as the written version of those rights?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes, sir.
And because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Turnipseed, did you see on here where it says you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes, sir.
And you're here representing yourself?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial on your case?
Yes, sir.
And by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and these cases will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Turnipseed, starting with the suspended license, have you used a NOLO on a suspended license charge in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
Are you 21 years of age or older?
Yes, sir.
And are you asking me to accept the NOLO for driving that occurred here in Spalding County and resulted in this charge of suspended license from January 15th of 2024?
Yes, sir.
All right, so, Mr. Turnipseed, I'm gonna find that your request for a NOLO is proper and I'm gonna grant it. I'm gonna find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights in entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I will follow it. Any questions about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Turnipseed, specifically as to 24 SR 0152, count 1, suspended license, I'm gonna grant your NOLO. It's 12 months of probation, $750 is your fine. You're gonna need to show your valid license to the sentence enforcement team. No illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products should be tested for those. Of course, you can work off your fine with community service work. $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee, and your case will close the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court. So that closes out 24 SR 0152. All right, so moving forward to your other cases, so Margaret, please go with them out to probation. I'm holding up a null pros in 24 SR 151. I've signed that null pros pursuant to plea negotiations. And then I have a null pros in 21 TK 1233. On each of those, I've signed those as well. And so your other 2 cases are now closed by dismissal or null pros. Any questions for me?
No, sir.
All right, so you have 30 days to appeal it. You have 6 months on the null pros. 6 months on the habeas rights. And unless that's it, I'm gonna have you step out those double doors.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so it is 3:52. This is the earliest we've gotten out of here.